Random people, how are you all today? Good, good. Oh, I've just realised you can see some clothes hanging up. Sorry, it's laundry day. You can see, look at this. Ooh, funky microphone. I have this. I have quite a lot of these things for my other project that I do, and I've been recording some stuff for that this morning, so that's why this is set up. For no other reason, and I couldn't be bothered to dismantle it for this. So rather than sound coming through crappy internal microphone, should be, in theory, coming through this if iMovie accepts the preferences. I've got some lights down here that suggests it's working, so we should see. Anyway, what are we talking about? We're talking about things coming back, and I'm not talking about fashion because I know nothing about fashion. But look at this awesome t-shirt. Oh, how cool is that t-shirt? It's awesome, except for Player 2 doesn't have a Player 2 icon, which I found very odd. But anyway, awesome Gauntlet t-shirt. Old things coming back, and this was because I didn't have anything to talk about today until I went to the shops earlier to get some fizzy drink and chocolate, but don't tell my other half because I'm meant to be on a bit of a fast when it comes to those, a stoppage. He found that I was drinking maybe 6 bottles of Coke a day, and he said it was a bit too much, which I don't think it is, but he seemed to think it was, so I meant to have stopped. But I snuck down to the shop and bought 3 today, of which I'm going to drink 2. That's okay. But when I was there, I found these. Look, look, look. Ooh, that way. Sorry, wrong way. Oh, you can't see it, shiny. Anyway, chocolate-covered pretzels. Chocolate-covered pretzels. Oh, there's 3 there. I'm going to eat them all. Watch me eat. Anyway, these are awesome. They were around back in the 90s, and they were around for like a period of 2 weeks, and then they stopped making them, and it was really bizarre because they're awesome. Salty, chocolatey, yummy goodness. And they've come back, and I'm very happy that they've come back, albeit more expensive and less of them in a packet, which is a bit sucky. They used to be in a big packet, if you remember. Anyway, I like things that come back. Other examples being Whisper Gold, that came back. Whisper Gold's very nice as well. Whisper Mint, that was even better. A lot of my examples are going to be chocolate based, you might be able to tell. And geeky things. Geeky things have now come back, or rather have come to begin with. Geeky things don't really work, do they? Oh well, but I quite like it when things come around, especially if they're from when I was a kid. Except for not always good. Not always good. Sometimes they come back in their pants, not like chocolate pretzels, which are awesome. But you get some things, TV shows come back in their pants. Doctor Who came back. Doctor Who was awesome. Everyone loved Russell T Davies. Amazing. And then Stephen Moffat, amazing single episodes. I mean, like, amazing. And then he got control of the series, and it kind of went a bit. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But yeah. So things coming back are good. I'm rambling. This is completely unrehearsed. What else has been going on? Olympics. Has anyone watching? You enjoy the Olympics? I don't. And I really resent the fact, I'm going to go on a rant here, I really resent the fact that over the past 2 weeks I've been made to feel guilty for something I don't enjoy. And I find that fundamentally unfair. I'm quite happy for all you sporty people to go off and have the Olympics and have this big International Sports Day. I'm quite happy with that. I don't care, just stay away from me. But what I resent, the fact that because I don't find it interesting and because I'm not taking part in the discussions, I get made to feel guilty? That's not fair. I get told I'm missing out on a big cultural thing. I don't care. I think you're missing out on a cultural thing by not watching Battlestar Galactica. I think Battlestar Galactica is probably one of the defining dramas of our time. But you don't see me going on and on about it and making you feel guilty for not seeing it. That's an unfair way of looking at it. I think Curiosity landing on Mars is a fundamental milestone in humanity's progression from ape to, or common ancestor of ape anyway, to wherever we're going to be in the future. But I don't make you feel guilty for not thinking the same way. So why the hell should I feel guilty because I don't like watching people run? I don't understand it. And all of this, you suddenly see those stupid Facebook things, you know, with the pictures where they've got too much contrast and they've got big bold letters upon it. You've seen a lot of them going, these are people who should be our role models for kids. No, they're just sports people. They shouldn't be role models. Okay, they're fairly good. And if you've got a kid who's good at sports but nothing else, fine. But they shouldn't just be universal role models. What about all the wonderful British scientists we've had in the past? We've had Turing, Babbage, Newton, Stephen Hawking. Even Professor, what's his name, who goes to sandy beaches and was in D-Ream. That's a bit weird. But those are fundamentally good role models as well. But you don't see them getting mentioned. Because, and I think this is a very valid point, is these people are clever. And I think there's a cachet in today's world around being dim. Especially for female role models. Any female, or most female role models on TV are dim. And I don't think that people are actually dim, but there's this mentality that women especially have to pretend to be more stupid than they are. And that's not right. And then suddenly throwing all this coverage on people who are very good at sports, albeit, but just throwing all the coverage and saying these are the role models we want, I think that's fundamentally missing a point. That we want role models in all areas, and we need more role models in areas which are intellectual. Simon Singh is fucking amazing. You need to, if you've never seen Simon Singh speak, it shows my ignorance. I don't even know if he's British, but he's an amazing person. Dawkins is amazing as well. There are so many writers. Oh, there's so many writers. Ian M. Banks, Alistair Reynolds. They're all sci-fi people, and you notice all my other examples of sciencey examples. But these people are fundamentally brilliant role models, and yet aren't getting any press. But we should, love someone who can run very fast. And what comes of this is the idea that sports should be taught at school more. David Cameron's suggesting 2 hours of sports a week be made mandatory, competitive sports, not just sports, competitive sports, which is essentially 2 hours of state-backed bullying a week. If you taught any other subject the way you teach sports, the teachers would be thrown out. If you had a maths lesson where kids are brought in, they're not told the equations, they're not told the processes, but they sit down and they're just given the sums, and then the people who are good at it are allowed to ridicule in front of everyone else, and this is encouraged, the people who aren't good at it, you would be thrown out as a teacher. But in sports, that's absolutely fine. Sports is the only subject in school where you've got presumed knowledge. I remember going to do football. I hate football. I've hated football since I was a kid. I used to play rugby, but I hated football. I remember going to secondary school and just being told to get into a football game. No one sat me down. No one said, these are the rules of football. This is when there's a offside, and that's the classic one. But when you do a throw-in compared to when you do a corner, I remember being utterly confused, running around my little sort of 10-year-old, 11-year-old self, and not understanding why sometimes we were throwing in the ball and sometimes we were doing the corner. And I know now because I figured it out on the go. But that shouldn't be how a subject is taught. And this is what it comes down to, is we're teaching children. If it's about education, then it's about teaching, and that's what we should be doing. If it's about exercise, then there are better ways than competitive sports, because you can do what I did, which is stay on the wings. Always stay around other people so they never pass the ball to you. In fact, they never passed the ball to me anyway because I was useless at it. So if it's about education, teach it. And if it's about exercise, there are much better ways than competitive sports. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant, completely unrelated to the subject. I'm going to go now and eat the rest of these. And comment, please comment. Oh, it beeped. Please comment. I like it when people comment. And follow. Follow's up there somewhere. And dance. Do the follow. Dance. Do the subscribe. Dance. Do-ba-doo-doo. Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Anyway, bye-bye, random people.